because we have challenges, both those in the diaspora and those at home, that nobody is speaking for us. And it takes someone with natural experience and also cultural competence to be able to represent our people. I still hold my optimistic views on President Trump. I challenged him very well. I was negative against his campaign and everything. But right now, we have a president, but also our expectation on him is so high. We have to know that he has never served as a governor and never served in the Congress, never been a senator. He was just a businessman dealing with all politicians like myself. So the expectation is good, but at the same time, I think he is doing a little bit. He has called 70 world leaders. I mean, made 70 calls to about 38 world leaders, including President Buhari and the president of South Africa. So our focus should be not just the 100 days, but what do we gain, we African or Nigerian? How does it benefit us? His reign or his 100 days and so on. That is where I am very particular.
Gentlemen, what do you make of the president's interaction with the American people? During his inauguration, President Trump said he would make America great again. He will focus on America. All the focus, all that talk was all about, America and the American people. And as Dr. Okere mentioned, he's made calls to several leaders around the world, including President Muhammadu Buhari. But on the other side, there's also, the snubbing of the AU president and the Rwandan president who were in the United States recently. Do you see any cooperation or any priority that Africa or Nigeria in particular occupies in this Trump presidency? Dr. Okere, do you want to respond first?
Yes, I think there's enormous chances and position for us. I call this a paradigm shift. There's a time for the whole world leaders to come, or the whole countries to come back to the drawing board. And it's time for Africa, for us to set our own priorities. One of our challenges is because our leaders never have a priority. We don't put our people first. You see, we are crying because Trump is now focusing on make America great, focus America. That is the role of a president. First of all, protect your people, the interests of your people. Do you know that there are many Americans that are homeless, unemployed, jobless, and so on? Here, I do a lot of administration to the prisons. There are over 2.3 million Americans incarcerated. So what are the reasons? We can't continue to be policing around the whole world and so on. So what the president is doing is great. And Africa has a lot that America cannot deny. I always say it proudly that America cannot do without Africa. First of all, this is the first president who also appointed an African at executive at the top level, which is Mr. Adebayo. He also appointed the Egyptian-born in his economic advisory team. So let's look at the good that's going to be coming out of there. It's good he make a lot of noise and he challenged the whole people, but let's not think that how he deal with country A is how he's going to deal with Nigeria or Africa. Let's look at what we have. We present our reason. We have tangible resources. We have what Trump can use, not just the oil. We have human capital. We have intelligent people. Our doctors here are one of the best around the world. And recent census show us that Africans produce the highest immigrant educated people in America, which is Nigeria. So we have something that we can brag about and not being swayed by what the media say, Trump said this, Trump said this. Let's go back and relax, comport ourselves, and wait for him and present our reasons.
Ambassador Keshi, you want to respond to that?
I
see you fidgeting.
I do not think that many of us are reacting to what the media is saying. I think many of us who are observers of current global events, we have very good memories of a number of things. When you look at what has happened since the Trump presidency, it's probably what Shakespeare would describe, all sounds and fury signifying nothing. So far, yes, he has called 70 world leaders. There's nothing strange about that. Virtually every new United States president has done the same. And remember, even in this country, after our last election, a number of presidents from all over the world called our president. So that's really nothing. What we are saying is, or what has been established as a practice in the United States, since Roosevelt, I believe, the Great Depression, is that the first 100 days is seen as a yardstick in which you begin to project and judge how a president will do in future. And I've said before, Donald Trump could still turn out to be a good and a great president. But for now, he's not showing that he's actually prepared to govern and to govern well. All the promises he made during the election, so far, not, in the United States, you have to put most of these things through the legislative process. And as we speak, none has gone through the legislative process. The Obama healthcare field, more because they didn't do their homework very well. And it's become such a divisive thing, even the Republicans, you know. And it shows you clearly that even the Republicans who were making so much noise under President Obama, that they didn't like this thing, they were going to kill it, they actually have no plans. And Donald Trump came in with also no plans, and they just wrote something that has failed twice. Yeah. You know, and he said that they don't want to be a policeman of the world. Today, Donald Trump, you know, again, has bombed Syria. He has gone to North Korea, basically against what Obama tried to preach to the Americans, that they need to use the military responsibly. And when you look at North Korea, it's only a diplomatic engagement that will probably bring the situation to, you know, to some reasonable end.
I want to quickly get Dr. Okere's response to whether Donald Trump has done well in his 100 days. You know, he said he does not believe in the 100 days yardstick. So you still feel that he's done well, even though he really hasn't made any international trips?
This is a leader who doesn't care how much, you know, the worst thing is that when you're fighting an enemy or an opponent who doesn't care how much he fails and so on, but he has a target. And I think he is doing what he's doing. He doesn't care about the 100 leaders. Like I said, he has even the Keystone Agreement. He has worked on it. He has called on the UN. He has challenged the UN to, you know, on their bias report towards Israel, which personally I also hope that Donald Trump will also help Africa, especially Nigeria, on the bias report towards Nigeria, because that is what has kept us down, the negative reports that both the international media and everyone has put us down, and we stay on a begging mentality like charity case to the whole world when we have what it takes to feed the whole world. So I still maintain that we should focus on how we benefit. Look, in a game, when you have what it takes, you relax and wait for the other person. Let him keep playing around. He's going to come and to need Nigeria or need Africa. And I guarantee you that. You mentioned the AU issue. I don't really know actually if that meeting was confirmed to be that very specific time. But I think, like the ambassador, AU ambassador here has said, regardless of what happened, the relationship continued to forge ahead. And that's the reason why it calls on the diaspora here to rise up and defend our people. It takes people with natural experience and cultural competence to represent our people. And Donald Trump already said that there's going to be 5 years ban on lobbying and also lifetime ban on lobbying for foreign government. It is time for us to speak for ourselves. Yes.
That's okay. I would love for you to continue, but we have to take a break now. Gentlemen, if you will stay with us, coming up after the break, we'll be discussing more on President Trump's 100 days in office. Do join us again.